You guys got our newsletter. I wrote a story about the pandemic's impact on CLCP and the day that stands out for me, which is March 12th. March 12th is the Thursday when I was actually at C12, and I started getting a bunch of emails and calls and basically finding out that our clinics were going to close. And then shortly thereafter, that weekend, I found out that we would basically have to move to our homes and work from home. But God had been gracious to us prior to even getting to that point, because we had a gentleman who had donated a phone system to our office so that we could have voice over internet phones, which allowed us to be able to work from home and still make calls to clients from home. So we were able to set up in our respective locations at that point in time. And when we transitioned from our offices to working from home, it was just me, Pete, our receptionist, and a couple days after that, we were blessed to bring on Michael Adams as a full-time administrator. And that was the necessary piece that we had to have in our COVID-19 stay safe at home social distancing puzzle so that we can continue to provide the work and the services that we strive so hard to provide to our clients. In the process of still having to stay at home, we continued to serve our clients through phone consultations and relied heavily on our volunteer attorneys who are willing to donate at least 3 hours of their time at one time to handle at least 3 consultations. And in that time frame from March to about mid-June, we serviced about 50 clients just over the phone when our volunteers were available, when our clients were available, helping them any way possible. The courts were closed for the most part, but we were still able to give guidance to clients and really give them pointers on what to do once the courts open back up, and to give peace and comfort to them during a very challenging time as they have impending legal issues, but don't know how to actually move forward under these new circumstances. And so once we moved from in Pennsylvania, for those of you who are still here, you know the 3 phases that we've gone through are still in. We have our red, our yellow, and our green phases that we've gone through. So once we moved from red to yellow, we were able to move from our homes and start setting up our virtual clinics in the offices. And so what we did was, with Michael Adams, our full-time administrator, tech guy, paralegal, notary, all around, just kind of do it all helper, we were able to set up our clinic locations to meet with clients virtually. So the clients will come in or come into clinic, and our volunteers are remote, and then they then do the consultations from wherever their home location is. And this way we're able to still provide the services, but do it in a way that's safe for everyone, and also allow the attorneys to be able to see the clients and the clients to be able to see the attorneys. Michael Adams has done a great job of, even plugging in our printers and scanners so that the attorneys are able to get the documents that the clients bring in during the consultations and review them, and just be better equipped to give them the proper guidance that they need, as if they were just having a regular in-person consultation. And in addition to doing the consultations, we've been able to plug in our chaplains as well. And so Nick helped out with one of our walkthroughs and preparing to have chaplaincy help in our consultations. And now we have at least 1 or 2 chaplains available for each clinic that we're holding at this point in time. And it's truly been a blessing. I was nervous initially to figure out, how a client would respond to having 2 faces just looking at them on a screen. But it's going extremely well. The clients have loved it. They've appreciated, having the time, the opportunity, the care of the attorneys, and the care of the chaplains as well, to pray for them and to encourage them as they're dealing with their respective legal issues. And so now we have 3 of our clinic locations that are open. Our Hunting Park location is open and meeting with clients every 1st and 3rd Thursday. Our North Philly location is open and meeting with clients every 4th Thursday. And our Germantown location is open as well and meeting with clients every 2nd Thursday. And so that covers all the Thursdays in the month, because we only have 1 Michael Adams. And so we need him to be at each of the clinics to make sure that the technology goes well. And we're at capacity at our clinics. We're getting them filled up, and in Hunting Park, we're full for tomorrow, and we're full for the 20th. And so it's just been a blessing to be able to get back out there and to have something regular in place for our clients to come to, and a regular set time for our volunteers to be able to plug in. And so in addition to having our virtual clinics, we've pivoted some, but honestly, the Lord was already laying the groundwork for this particular pivot. And we've started to focus more on estate planning and landlord-tenant work, as Rob was talking earlier about preparing for evictions in the counties. We've been preparing for evictions since probably May is when we were really having the heavier discussions. And in June, we had one of our volunteers, who is the head of the housing unit of the Legal Clinic for the Disabled, come in and do a Zoom training for our other volunteers so that they would be prepared to assist potential clients that will come in with eviction issues. And she did a thorough training, and we were able to record it so we can share with other volunteers who would like to come alongside and walk with clients through the eviction process. Unlike the counties, Philadelphia has really been very thorough, and the city has gotten in front of the eviction issues as best as possible. And so although there's a stay until August 31st, new eviction hearings won't take place until November, with the hopes of giving opportunity for more mediations between landlords and tenants to resolve their issues without there having to be a full-on procedure. One for to basically to help people stay in their housing, but also keeping in mind that municipal court, where these landlord-tenant hearings take place, is very confined in the way that it's structured. And so they have to schedule hearings spaced apart, but with the number of hearings that would go at one time, each landlord-tenant case would only get 7.5 minutes per case. And that's not long at all. And it doesn't take into account hearings or cases where you have multiple tenants. And so everybody still has to share that 7.5 minutes. So if the matters can be resolved beforehand, then it's a win for all parties and a win for the judicial system as well. And so we're blessed to have Pete on staff, who's a certified peacemaker, who's chomping at the bit to be able to help mediate issues like this. And we have other volunteers who are also eager and ready to plug in and to help mediate and negotiate any type of agreement that these landlords and tenants may want to come to, instead of actually waiting until November to have a matter heard before the judges in municipal court. And like I mentioned earlier, we've also expanded our focus on estate planning. So up until this point, we've really just focused on doing estate planning for low-income seniors. And a couple of months ago, during my prayer time, the Lord really laid it on my heart for us to start focusing on essential workers and doing estate planning for essential workers, because they're the ones that keep life going for us. And so they're, serving in the markets, they're serving in the hospitals, they're picking up our trash, everything that keeps a certain level of normalcy, and honestly provides us with the necessities that we need to continue to survive right now. They're in place to do that, to take care of us. And so what we wanted to do is provide them with these documents as a thank you, just a token of appreciation for all that they have given and continue to give to the community at large by staying on their jobs. And so we have an estate planning for essential workers program that we're doing, and we are doing estate planning every Wednesday from 10 to 2 at the Salvation Army, where our North Philly clinic is located. And we're passing out our information to police officers, firefighters, bank workers, teachers, medical workers, anybody who's classified as an essential worker, even pastors, because they are essential, even though they may not fall into that typical classification. They are essential to us, especially as we're trying to grapple with being a part just receiving their encouragement is necessary for our spiritual growth and strength during this hard time. And so we're still working. I mean, that's the message that we want to convey, is that we're still here and we're still striving and pushing forward to meet the needs of the people where they are. Not waiting for people to come and show up at CLCP, but we are getting the information out by possibly get the information out so that we can be a blessing to the members of the Philadelphia community, but also a blessing to the counties that surround us as well. And so that's the update from me, and we have a couple minutes left for any questions that you guys may have.